Hassan was a young man with dreams of success. He wanted to achieve something meaningful in life, not just for himself, but also for his family. His father was a retired school teacher, and his mother was a homemaker. They had always encouraged him to work hard, but despite his efforts, success seemed to slip further away with each passing day. After completing his education, Hassan started searching for a job. He sent out dozens of applications, attended interviews, and waited eagerly for responses. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months, yet every reply was the same: rejection. Some companies told him he lacked experience, while others simply never responded. Frustrated with the endless job hunt, Hassan decided to start his own small business. He borrowed some money from a friend and opened a small shop selling mobile accessories. At first, he was excited, believing that this was his chance to prove himself. However, reality was harsh. The business struggled to attract customers, and expenses quickly piled up. Within a few months, he was forced to shut it down. Failure after failure made Hassan feel worthless. He watched his friends move forward in life. Some were getting promotions, others were starting families, while he remained stuck. He began avoiding people, embarrassed to answer their questions about his career. One evening, Hassan sat alone by a quiet lake, staring at the water. He felt lost, unsure of what to do next. That was when an old man, who had been sitting nearby, noticed his troubled expression and walked over to him. "Young man, you seem deep in thought," the old man said gently. Hassan sighed. "I don't know what to do anymore. I have tried everything, yet I keep failing. It feels like life is against me." The old man smiled and sat down beside him. "Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen how a blacksmith shapes iron?" Hassan looked at him in confusion. "No, I haven't." The old man picked up a small stone and threw it into the lake. "A blacksmith takes a piece of raw iron and heats it until it's red hot. Then he hammers it again and again, shaping it into something useful. If the iron could feel pain, don't you think it would cry out and ask why it's being struck?" Hassan thought for a moment. Maybe it would, but in the end it becomes something strong and valuable. The old man nodded. "Exactly," his ally. "Struggles in life are like that hammer. They shape us, refine us, and make us stronger, but only if we don't give up before the process is complete." Hassan remained silent, thinking about what the old man had just said. For the first time in a long while, he felt a small spark of hope. That conversation with the old man stayed in Hassan's mind. He realized that failure was not the end, it was a lesson. If he wanted to succeed, he needed to change his perspective. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, he started analyzing his mistakes. Why did his business fail? Why was he not getting hired? What could he do differently? He took a new approach. He learned new skills, attended online courses, and started networking with professionals. He also read books on success, motivation, and business strategies. Slowly, his confidence returned. One day, he got a call from a small company that had previously rejected him. They needed someone with a willingness to learn, and because of his persistence, they decided to give him a chance. Hassan took the job eagerly, determined to prove himself. He worked harder than ever, staying late to improve his skills and learning from his colleagues. Months passed and his dedication paid off. He received his first promotion, then another. His salary increased, and for the first time in years, he felt proud of himself. The same people who had once doubted him now looked up to him. But Hassan didn't stop there. With the experience he gained, he decided to give business another try. This time, he was more prepared. He saved money, researched the market, and launched an online store instead of a physical shop. Learning from his past mistakes, he marketed his products wisely, and soon his business started growing. Years later, Hassan had not only built a successful career, but also a thriving business. He looked back at his struggles and realized that without those failures, he would never have learned the lessons that led him to success. The secret to success, he finally understood, was not in avoiding failure, but in embracing it, learning from it, and moving forward. Life does not defeat those who refuse to give up. It shapes them into something greater. Years had passed since Hassan's struggles. He had grown into a successful entrepreneur and a respected professional. His online business was thriving, and his job had given him financial stability. He no longer worried about failures because he had learned how to turn them into stepping stones. But deep inside, he knew his journey was not over. There was something more he had to do. One day, as he was sitting in his office, he received a message from an old friend, Bilal. They had not spoken in years, but Bilal's message was simple. Hassan, I need your advice. Hassan immediately agreed to meet him. When they met at a small cafe, Bilal looked just like Hassan had years ago, frustrated and exhausted. I don't know what to do, Bilal admitted. I've been trying to start my own business, but nothing works. Every time I think I'm making progress, something goes wrong. I've taken loans, worked day and night, but all I've gained is failure. Hassan listened patiently. Every word Bilal said reminded him of his own past struggles. He smiled and said, Bilal, do you remember when we were kids and learned how to ride a bicycle? Bilal looked confused. What does that have to do with anything? Hassan continued. The first time you rode a bicycle, did you fall? Bilal sighed. Of course, everyone falls while learning. But did you stop trying? No, Bilal admitted. I kept practicing until I learned. Hassan nodded. That's exactly how success works. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of the process. The problem is that most people see failure as the end instead of a lesson. Bilal remained silent, deep in thought. Hassan continued. When I failed my first business, I thought life was against me. When I couldn't get a job, I thought I wasn't good enough. But do you know what I learned? What? Bilal asked curiously. I learned that success is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get back up. Every failure teaches you something. If you take the lesson and improve yourself, you will eventually succeed. Bilal let out a deep breath. But how do I know if I'm on the right path? What if I keep failing? Hassan smiled. Then keep learning. Keep adjusting your strategy. Keep improving your skills. Every successful person has faced failure, but the difference is they didn't give up. They adapted. Bilal looked at Hassan with new determination in his eyes. You're right. I've been looking at failure the wrong way. I need to change my approach instead of giving up. That day marked a turning point for Bilal. He went back to his work with a fresh mindset. Instead of fearing failure, he started analyzing his mistakes and improving his business strategies. It took time, effort and patience, but eventually his business grew. Hassan watched Bilal's journey with pride. He had not only transformed his own life, but had also helped someone else find their path. One evening, Hassan returned to the same lake where he had once sat in despair. The old man who had changed his perspective was no longer there, but his words still echoed in Hassan's mind. Struggles shape us, refine us, and make us stronger. Hassan smiled to himself. He finally understood the true secret to success. It was never about luck or shortcuts. It was about resilience, learning, and the willingness to rise every time life knocked you down. And with that realization, he knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, he was ready to face them. Because now he understood that problems in life are not roadblocks. They are the training ground for greatness. As Hassan sat by the lake, reflecting on his journey, he realized something important. Success is not about never failing, it's about never giving up. Every problem in life is an opportunity to learn, grow, and become stronger. And remember, just like Hassan, you too can achieve success if you embrace your failures, learn from them, and keep moving forward. If this story inspired you, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, Easy Spoken English. Here, we share powerful life lessons through engaging stories that help you improve not only your English, but also your perspective on life. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever faced a failure that later turned into a lesson? I'd love to hear your story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.